Okay. What I want to take today is to look at the relationship between a sector and a cone. So before I deal with the example here. Now, there are some questions that that relate the sector and the fulcrum together. So how, when you see something like that, how do you do with it? So I'm going to be doing some things here now, so that will enable us that whenever we see such question, you know how to relate the sector and the cone together, then you'll be able to solve whatever you want to solve. Now, as I've explained in my former video, I said when you have a sector could be in this way. Let me draw like this. Let's say you have this is a sector. Are you getting now? This is a sector, and this small part, this one now is the major sector. This is a major sector. Now, why the removed part is the minor sector. Now, if this sector sustains an angle, don't forget what I'm going to be doing now is this. So I don't want to call this one, I said that from the center of a circle to any part of the circle is radius. But let me just name it as L, because I want to connect, I want to show you something. I want to connect sector. What we want to look at now, the sector and the cone. Now, I already have a sector. How do this become a cone? A cone is like this. Let me draw this. So this is a cone that has a base radius R. No, this is why I don't want to call this one radius now, but just know that it is radius, but I'm representing this as L. So what is now the relationship between this and this? So I want to show you something now. Now, will you believe, you accept with me or agree with me that I just accept that this a sector? If you look at it, it's like what is here? This is a sector. Now, this sector cannot be twisted to have a cone. Look at this. So if I have this now, I join it like this. What are you seeing? Is it not a cone? So this is the cone you are seeing. So this is why I'm saying we should write this one as well. You will see that the radius here, the radius of this sector here, that has become, by the time you fold this to become a cone, you will see that the radius here, which is L, has become the slant length for the cone, which is slant height. So you are now having the radius here as L. You see now, you can see the relationship now. See, a sector now is being folded like this to form a cone, and now the slant height of the cone has become what? Which means the radius here, which is for the radius for the sector, is equal to the slant height of the what? Of the cone. Another thing is this: the length of an arc. If you look at it from here down to this place, the length of an arc has become the circumference of this circle. That is another relationship. You see now, this circumference here, you see, this has formed a circle now. This circumference here now is equal to the what? The length of an arc. So those are the two options I'm going to use in getting the formula between a sector and we already know the formula of sector area and the area of this and the length of a sector. Then we just need to now compare the two, then bring it out. Now, since we know that from my explanation, I said that the circumference of this, don't forget, this, in case of this, the length of an arc. But once it is fold like this, it becomes a circumference for cone, base circumference, which means here now I'll have 2 pi r for the cone. This is the circumference for the cone, and the circumference for this cone now is the same thing as the length of an arc from here to here. According to this, you see now that the length of an arc, which is from here down to this length, after you now fold it, it becomes a circle for base circle for the cone, which means it has become a circle. So, and the length of an arc is what? Theta over 360 times 2 pi r. You see now. So you see that the 2 pi r here cancel 2 pi r here. I can bring, sorry, there is a, don't forget here now, it's no more r, it's now l. I want to differentiate it. I want to differentiate. So the radius here is the slant height for the cone here. So I'm having L here. So if 2 pi r cancel 2 pi r, I'm left with r equals to theta over 360 times L. Then I can as well divide through by L. Divide through by L. So this one cancel this. I have r equals to r over L equals to theta over 360. So I can call this one equation 1. I hope you get this one. So we have this. That's equation 1. Don't forget how I arrive at this place. That means the circumference of the cone is the same thing as the length of an arc, because it was this one that formed this. Then you have this. So another thing that we are going to now look at it is this. The area, look at it, the area of this sector, that means the area of this sector is the same thing as the curved surface area of the cone. That means the area of this sector now, area of this sector, that means everything here is the area, everything in this place, everything, the area of the sector, everything here. When you now use it to form a cone, it becomes the area of a curved surface for the cone. You see that everything is shaded, which is the curved surface, because here you still have area here, but now the area of the sector will be equal to the area of the curved surface. That is what I want to do. Now, why will I use? Okay, I'm going to write this one. I'll write it somewhere here. So we've proved that r over L equals to theta over 360. So let's take note of this. Is our equation 1. Then to now calculate the area, another relationship between a sector and a cone is this. That means the area of sector of this place is equal to the curved surface area of the cone. Curved surface area of the cone. So if that is the case, if the curved surface, I told you how it becomes that. See, if you shade everything here, is the area of the sector. By the time you now fold it here now, I fold it here, it becomes what? The area of the curved surface of the cone. Become curved surface area of the cone. So now, what's the area of a sector? I've already put that in my earlier video. Now the area of a sector is theta over 360 times pi. Don't forget now, because the area of a sector, I'm using this as L, so don't get it twisted. Pi RL square. Instead, you know it's radius, but I want to just show you that here is a radius, but once you come to cone, it becomes slant height. While we are now using R as our base radius of the circle for cone. So I'm having theta over 360 pi L square for the sector. now equals to curved surface area for cone. So which means, and don't forget from here, you look at it, you see that 360, theta over 360 is the same thing as r over l. So I can eliminate theta over 360 by substituting r over l. So I will bring this one to replace this. So it becomes r over l times pi l squared, that is multiply, equals to curved surface area. You see that l cancel l. That is why you said, therefore, curved surface area of cone is equals to pi r l, which is pi r. One l has cancelled one of this, it becomes this. So this is now the formula for curved surface area of the cone. Don't forget where we started from. Before of all, consider the length of an arc. That is where we arrive at this place. The length of this arc has become the circumference for the cone, and we know the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. By the time you equate the two of them and you simplify, you arrive at this. Then you now consider the area of the cone, of the sector. The area of the sector, which means everything here. By the time you now fold it, you see that it becomes the curved surface of the cone. So the curved surface of the cone, which is it, and you already know the area of the sector, which is this. Then you arrive, just substitute for theta over 360, you arrive at the curved surface area of the cone. Now, once you now have this, then you know sometimes it will be hard to find the total surface area of a cone. So the total surface area, very simple. Total surface area of a cone now. Let me use this please. Total surface area now. Total surface area of a cone will now be equal to, now we've already know the curved surface area and the circle area of this place. Now when you are now asking to find area means you must cover the whole shape. So which means we need the area of the curved surface area, the area for the curved surface, and the area for this base circle. So if that is the case, we already know the area for curved surface, which is pi r l, then plus area of a circle, which means here is a circle now, the base circle for the cone, we have pi r squared. So this is total area for cone. So I can factorize. If we want to simplify, there's pi here, there's r here, there's pi, there's r. I can put pi r outside into, we are left with l plus r. So this is the surface area for a cone. Total surface area of a cone. So that is what we have. I hope you are getting it. Now, if you are now saying to find the volume of a cone, volume of a cone should be, you know, if I have, I will see go into that. If I have something like this, let me just use this one to explain. If I have something like this and I need the area of this shape, what will I do is to first, what is the height of this? I will explain this cylinder. What is the height of this? If it is x, then what is now the area in this place? So for me to now know the quantity of volume or the volume of this shape is to now first of all know the area of the base, then multiply by the height. The area of the base multiplied by the how long is the object. So now, because of some of the parts of this cone that have no trim out, so you cannot account for, you cannot say the area of this place, which is pi r squared, multiplied by the height. Let's say if the height is h, from here down to this place, if it is h, so which means the volume will now be pi r squared h. Because part of it has been removed, we'll call this one quarter, 1/4. So which means volume of a cone become 1/3 the area of the base, which is pi r squared, times the height h. So just memorize it like this. So this is the way formula for volume of a cone. Now I think by this explanation now, we can now go into solving the the question above, and let's see how it goes. And if you don't get, by the time you watch the video over and over, you get more explanation. So solution 1, let's see what we have. The first question says the sector of a circle of radius 7 cm. You know radius to be 7 cm. Then sustain an angle of 300. Know theta to be 300 degree. Then at the center of the circle, if this sector is bent to form a cone, find the radius of the base of the cone and its vertical height. So let's first draw the sector. If you're having a sector like this, so I'm having a sector, let's say like this. This is a sector now. Now I'm giving 300, and don't forget the angle at a point is 360. So if angle at a point is 360 and I've already given 300, where would the angle be? We mean the angle will be outside here, 300. So for you to complete 360, just 60. So if you now put 300 here, I'm expecting the remaining part to be 60. It should be wrong. So this is the correct diagram. You know, I drew it because based on the angle given. So this is the sector, and I've already been given the radius to be 7 cm. Now they now use this sector to form a cone. Use this sector to form a cone. So, and we have, this is the vertical height of the cone. Let me just draw it here, and this is the base radius r. So the first question said find the radius of the base of the cone. This is the base of the cone. We need this one. Another thing is to find the vertical angle. The vertical angle is, by the time you split the cone's angle into two, is what we refer to as vertical angle. So if here is x, here too will be x. So we just need one of this vertical angle. And here, the distance from here to this place is h. So by the time you trace this one out, So this height here is the vertical, is the height that we. So we need r and we need s. How do we now do this one to find whatever we need? Now don't forget that this place, which is what the radius for this circle, is the same thing as the slant height for the cone. Here too is 7 cm. You see the correlation now. You see this thing. So this is from here to here is 7. By the time you now use it to form a cone, you see that the L here, the distance here has become the slant height from here to here, which is the same thing as this. So now that is the relationship. Now, how do I now first get this one? I need to get this before I can even say I want to do anything here. Now from the relationship I said earlier, that the length of an arc here, I can calculate the length of an arc, which is the same thing as the circumference of the cone. So length of an arc in this place, which is theta over 360 times 2 pi r, is the same thing as what? 2 pi r. So don't forget that here now, let's say from the formula we are using this place as L now, which is the radius. Why this radius we are considering as the base radius of the cone. So here is L. So we don't get it twisted. When you are talking of the sector, we are talking about this length, and this length here of the radius is the same thing as the slant height, not the same thing as the base radius of the cone. Now, since we've gotten this, we know everything here. So I can calculate out. So here I can say 2 pi cancel 2 pi. So my r is equal to, what remains is theta over 360 times this is L. So that is 300. We know theta is 300 over 360 times 7. So cancel here, 5 here, 6. So that is 35 over 6. That should be 5 points calculator. So 35 divided by 30. So the calculator is not functioning. So that is that which is equal to 6 in 30. That is 5 point. Then we have in 50, 42, 7, 8. So 8 in 20, 3 and thereabouts. So we have it that way. Then the next thing is to look for. I've gotten R. Here is my R now. There is R. R is equal to centimeter. Don't forget your unit. 5.83. Then you can use your calculator, which means 35 over 6. That is 5. You can write it as 5 whole number, 5 over 6 centimeter. Now, I now need to calculate the. I already know. This one has already formed right angle triangle from this shape. I can bring it out as this. I know this place as 35 over 6. I know this place as 7. Then I need to calculate this place, which is x. So from our that is SOHCAHTOA. You have, I can use opposite hypotenuse. If I want to use adjacent hypotenuse, I need to calculate this place. And for you to calculate this place, you just need to use a Pythagoras theorem. But I don't need to go to that length. I just opposite hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse. It goes with sine. So I'll just say sine x equals to 35 over 6 times opposite hypotenuse. And 35 over opposite divided by 7. So which means sine x becomes 35 over 6 times 1 over 7. 7 here 1, 7 here 5. 5. So sine x will become 5 over 6, which is equal to 0.58203333. So which means x will become arcsine 0.8333. So by the time you use your calculator to press that, you have your final answer. Then don't know what's wrong with this calculator. So I hope you get it now. I'm done with question 1. So we have this is the interpretation of the question. We have to find the radius of the base of the cone, which is this. I've calculated that, which is 5.833. Then also to find the vertical angle. I told you that the vertical angle of a cone is this angle. Here. If I'm to calculate the angle of the cone now, that is subtended by the cone now, I just multiply my answer by 2. Then we are good to go. So that is that. So let's solve second question. So second question says that a lampshade is in the form of a frustum of a cone. So this frustum, I'm going to do something. You have frustum of a cone, of a pyramid, and all that. So what they mean by, if I should draw a cone, let's say we are having something like this. So I now remove the top part and I put this. This is a full stem of a cone. The full stem of cone. So which means now once I already know that they told me that it's a full stem of cone, what I need to do if I want to do any calculation is to first of all complete it. By the time I complete it, it will now be as if I'm having two things. So in my mind, this is what I'm dealing with. So I'm assuming that first I have a complete cone, and then I have another one, which is still the one you added to this one, make it a whole cone. From here, let me just put it, from here downward is the full stem of a cone. From here downward. Now, and this part that you added is this. And they will now be asking you, what is the volume of this? What is the area of this? What will I do? The one I added, I will treat this one as a cone. Then treat this one separate cone. For me to now know this one, whatever I get here, I will now be subtracting it from the total value I have here. So that's how to deal with it. So I'm having a full stem of a cone. So once I have it like that, I'll join it. I'll complete the full stem. Then I'll have it like this. So you do this one. Yeah, this one now is now a cone now on its own, which is have volume and area. Then this one too will have volume and area. So whatever I get here, subtracting from the total I get here. It's like by the time I'm subtracting it, I'm removing this part. So which becomes cone. So I hope you just get the little explanation I did there. So I'm now going to explain this now. They said a lampshade is in the form of a full stem of a cone. That's what you need. Full stem of a cone. So you already know where you are going. Now, the question is, its upper and lower I think I did not finish it here. Upper and lower diameter. There should be diameter here. Diameter. Upper and lower diameter are 20 centimeter and 40 centimeter. So let me draw that. I'm having a full stem of cone, of which I have this. I also have this. So join. So if I'm having this, so they said let me draw it to one end. I'm having, let's say we're having something like this and something like this. So this is the full stem of cone. So now the upper, they said the upper and lower diameter we are given the diameter of this, and don't forget that radius is diameter over 2. So if I'm to calculate this is their center point. So I'm having this place. This is the bigger one, which is what? 40. So 40 divided by 2, that will give me 20. So here will be 20 centimeter. So for the lower part. So for the upper part, which is the radius from the center to this point, they said it's 20. The diameter for that one will be 20, radius rather, which is 10. So from here to here is 10 centimeter. So now that I've known that here is 10 centimeter, let's use it like that. Here is 10 centimeter, this one is 20 centimeter. Then another thing, respectively. And its height is 24. So the height of the full stem, so which means from here down to this place is the height. So which is the is they call it 24 centimeter. 24 centimeter. So now the question is, what is the area of the cloth required to cover the lampshade, top and bottom being left open? You see the question. We have to calculate what is the area of a cloth that is needed or required to cover this full stem by leaving the base and this top. So what is it saying? It's just telling us to find the core surface area. We should leave this part alone. We are not covering this part. We are not covering this part. So we just find the area of that is the core surface area of the full stem. So how do we now do this one now? I will now proceed by drawing a complete Fulcrum. So which means I'm having this now. Just watch. I'm having this. I'm also having this. You see now. So this is the, from here down to this place is the height that is 24. I want to draw, then I'm now having this. So I'm joining and completing it. This is the one I added now from here. So upward, this is the one I added. So I'm calling the length from here down to this place as X or no. So I call this place as S. So I'm now calling the one I added now, the slant height from here down to this place. I want to call it, let me call it Y. Then the distance from here, that is the slant, from here to down to this place. I want to call it, let me call it Z. So which means the whole slant height from up to down will become what? Y plus Z. I hope you are getting it now. So now, why am I doing all this? Is for me to, once I calculate the whether the area or the volume of the whole shape, then I will now calculate the area or the volume of this smaller part I added. So this is the one I added to just make it a complete cone. You see now, this is this one I added. So I added X height, I added Y slant. Are you getting it now? So now, because I need to just calculate the cloth that is required to just cover this shape alone, all this place, round, everything here. That's what I need to do. So I don't need to cover this place. I don't need clothes for this place. I don't need clothes for this place. So having been in they said it is we need clothes to cover. That is why they said both top and bottom being left open. Having been is closed. So I have to find the area of this place, find the area of this place, and add it to the curved surface area of the Fulcrum. Then Fulcrum, there's no formula. So the only way is to now find the complete cone, then subtract it from the smallest one I added. I'm splitting it here. So which means it's like I'm having something like this. This is the one I added. This is the Fulcrum. You see now. So I'm calculating this one as a whole. Then I will now calculate this one differently. Now subtract this one from the total value I have. So I think from here now I can now solve. Don't forget that here is 20. Here is 20 centimeter. Then here is 10 centimeter. Now to first thing first, for me to calculate the area, I need just this value. How do I do it? Whenever you are in mathematics, you have something like this and you have some value. Don't bother yourself. It's very easy. What I will do here now to know all this value is to use similar triangle. Similar triangle. So how does it work? So whatever I am going to apply to this small shape now, maybe I should draw the complete and the. So this is the, for this small part of it now is now this. I'm having here as 10, I'm having here as X, here as Y. So let me now join this. So I'm having something like this now. So from here to here, here is 20. I will now have the height as X, that is 24 plus X. That is the height. So I will now have the whole from here to here to be Y plus Z. You see now? So now I have this and I also have this now. So what would I do? What do I mean by similar triangle? Similar triangle that I'm going to use here. This similar triangle, what is it? Whatever I do here, I will do the same thing to here, to this place. So now, what I need the height. Once I calculate the height, I can use Pythagoras theorem to know y. Then do the same thing here. Then I'm good to go. So now I will say x over 10. which means I picked vertical divided by horizontal. That's what I did here. Vertical divided by horizontal. Vertical divided by horizontal. So I will do the same thing here. Vertical divided by horizontal equals to 24 plus x over horizontal 20. You see now. So which means if I cross multiply, I have this multiply, this multiply. I have 20x equals to 10 times 24, that is 240, plus 10 times x, that is 10x. By the time I take collect terms, I have 20x, this one come to this side, minus 10x equals to 240. Then I have 10x, that is 20 minus 10 equals to 240. Therefore, s equals to 240 over 10. That gives you 24 centimeter. So which means the height from here to here is 24 centimeter. If I know here as 24 centimeter, I can now calculate this place by using, because don't forget this is a right angle triangle, by using Pythagoras theorem. So if I apply, let me call this one triangle A, triangle B. So if I say from triangle A now, so what do I have? Applying Pythagoras theorem. I want to calculate y. Y will equal to, that is y squared will be equal to, because it's the longest side, will be equal to the square of this plus the square of this. So that is s squared plus 10 squared. And I've already known x as 24. 24 squared plus 10 squared. So coming, because my calculator is not working, I have to be using an 16, 1, 8, 9, 8, 4. So I have 6, 17, 557. That is 556 plus 100. So y will now be square root of, by the time you add the 2, you have 676. Then so that is that for y. I've already gotten y. Then this calculator, let me find a way of bringing a calculator. So now, so square root of 4, that's 24 times 24, okay, 576 plus 100, 676 square root, that is 26. So the square root of 676 is 26 centimeter. So I've already know what y is, and I've already know what x is. So if I now come, I already know this one. If I now come here now, I will be able to know. So let's just put it outside. We say x is 24, y is 26. So okay. Now I will now come to triangle B now. From triangle B, what am I having? Triangle B. So from triangle B now. So I have what I need is okay. I know y, I don't know z. So here I don't know z. I can also use a similar triangle to find what z is. So let's use similar triangle to find what z is. So because I need z now, I want to compare this and this, or this and this, whatever is the case, I'll get the answer. So here now I want to use slant of this one divided by the horizontal. So if I use the slant of the smaller one, I also use the slant here. So the slant here is y over the horizontal 10, which is equal to, the slant here now is y plus z over the horizontal 20. So I'm also using similar triangle here. So I've already gotten y to be 26. So 26 over 10 equals to y is 26 plus z over 20. Sorry, 26 rather. So if that is the case, if I multiply, I will be having 26 times 20 over 10 equals to 26 plus z. 10 cancel 10. I have 2, 4, 52 equals to 26 plus z. So z will be equals to 52 minus 26. Then that is 26 also. So I have 26 times 20 equals to divided by 10. I have it as 52 minus 26. So that is 26 centimeter. So I've only gotten my z as 26 centimeter. So now, if I now want to redraw this one now, so z is 24. So it means 24 plus 24. That will give us 48. So this one has turned to 48. So 26 plus 26. This place has turned to 52 centimeter. 52 centimeter. Then y here is z here is 24. Our x is what? Is 26. Now that I already know all the value now in this diagram now, and don't forget from the question, this is what we have. This is our fulcrum. This is everything we know. This one. So we're given the base and the upper part, and the height is 24. Here is 10. Here is 20. This is everything we have here. But we need to now calculate. The first question says that what area of a cloth is required to cover the lampshade. This is the lampshade, which is the fulcrum. Top and bottom being left open. Here is open, here is open. Invariably, what they are asking us to find is to look for what? The curved surface area. Curved surface area. Curved surface area. So if I name, as I've named this one as triangle A and triangle B, don't forget that the triangle B is the bigger one. So if I now subtract triangle A from cone A, I'm sorry of using if I now use cone A, subtract it from cone B, I'll have what? A fulcrum. So which means I need to calculate the curved surface area of this bigger cone and the curved surface area of this smaller cone. Subtract them from each other, I will get the shape for this, the curved surface area. So which means the area of this shape is this. The area that is needed for the cloth, let me just call it curved surface area. Curved surface area of the cone equals to, that is curved surface area of, not cone, fulcrum. Will now be equals to, so what will I do is to find the surface area of this, then surface area of this. Subtract this from this. It's like we are removing this out of it. We are left with this. You get it now? So which means the curved surface area is pi RL. So I have proved this formula earlier. For cone B minus pi RL for cone A. So by the time you subtract this bigger cone, this smaller cone from bigger cone, you are left with this shape. So which is the curved surface area. You don't need to find this area. I mean, we are told to find the total area needed or the total cloth needed to cover everything. So you now find the area of this, and add to this. By the time you solve this one, you now find the area of this place. An area of a circumference of a circle is pi r squared. You use 20 here, you find it. You also add it to this place, pi r squared. You put 10 here, you find your value. You already know pi as 22/7. You now add this plus the value you get here. That will give you the total surface, the total cloth needed to cover this thing. But now, since the question said the base and the top is left open. Then we just only need this part. So now if we substitute our value, we have pi to be, let's just use 22 over 7 or 3.142 times this radius. Now I'm talking the radius of the cone B, which is 20, then multiply by the slant height. Slant height 52 minus 22 over 7 times radius of the this guy, with this smaller one, which is 10, cone times the slant height 26. So whatever it is we have here, we subtract from here, then we have our answer. So what I'm having there now is 22 times 20 times 52 equals to divided by 7. That gives 3268.57 minus 22 times 10 times 26 equals to divided by 7. That also gives 817.14. So by the time I subtract them, 3268.57 minus 817.14. So that gives 245. Don't know if it's 7 or 1. 245 1.43 centimeter cube. Don't forget a centimeter square. Don't forget the unit is very important. So this is how I've already calculated the curved surface area of the cone, which is pi r l. Then we have this. Now then the question, okay, 2. What is the volume of the frustum? So we still go with the same method, that you find the volume of the whole shape. Find the volume of the whole shape. That means the volume of cone B minus the volume, the volume of cone B minus the volume of cone A. So we are subtracting cone A from cone B. So that is what I will do. So for me to have the volume of the frustum. So the volume of the frustum will now be this. Volume of the frustum will now be equal to volume of cone B minus volume of cone A. So by the time you subtract this one from here, you are left this. You subtract this from here, you left this minus this, you are equal to this. So that is just the logic. Now, what is formula for cone? I've already told you 1 over the area of this plate pi r squared times the height. So which means we are having 1 over 3 pi r squared h of B, then minus 1 over 3 pi r squared h of A. So which is equal to, we know this one as 1 over 3 times 22 over 7 times r for the bigger cone of B, which is 20 squared, then 20 squared, then times the height. The height is 48 minus 1 over 3 pi times 22 over 7 times r for this one is 10 squared, times what is h, the height, that is 24. So what is now the answer? So I have 22 times 20 times 20 times 48 equals to, divided by divided by 21. So I'm having 20114.29 minus, let's look at this, that is 22 times 10, that is 100, times 10 times 10 times 24 equals to, divided by 21. So I'm having 2514.29. So 20114.29 minus 2514.29. So the volume is 17 equals to 17,600 centimeter cube. Don't forget, volume is cube. So this is how to deal with frustum of a cone. So if you don't, as I just finished doing it, if you don't get it, you can watch the video over and over again. So my next video will be on some other shapes that you see how to, once you understand those shapes, it's easier to deal with and you know the correct formula to do. God bless all of us.